Hello, and welcome back to a new Lolita Tips for New Lolitas. Take yourself back to this moment. There you are. You've discovered Lolita fashion, and you're ready to buy your first Lolita fashion pieces. You're scouring the internet, looking around, browsing all different websites, trying to figure out which one is going to be the one to deliver your first Lolita main piece. And then you come across a particular site. A site that's mentioned everywhere. You keep seeing it advertised everywhere, saying that it's got the cheapest, best, most affordable Lolita items that will ship directly to you. And they have an app on the App Store. That's right, it's Milanoo. You're a beginner, a newbie. You say to yourself, looks legit to me. I mean, what's not stressed about it? It's got pictures and everything, so, okay, I'll go ahead and bite the bullet. And I see a couple pieces that I like. I'll just add them to my cart and wait until they deliver them to me. And then, boom, your order's been placed. You pick up a couple pieces here, a couple of accessories there. That's a nice main piece right there. I like that skirt, I like that blouse. And the next thing you know, you've bought more and more and more, and finally, the items arrive to you. You have just got your first Lolita fashion pieces. Or so you think. You browse around a little bit more, discovering places like Lolita subreddit and other places where Lolitas frequently flock to. And then the nightmares come to reality. You realize all of those pieces that you bought, absolutely none of them are actually Lolita. Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean they're not actually Lolita? What about them isn't Lolita? It says Lolita right in the title of the item, look! But it starts to settle in. Milanoo is just a storefront. They sell a whole lot of different knickknacks and skirts and blouses, of course, but most of them are not officially Lolita, and when worse comes to worse, the item that you buy, it's not even what you saw in the picture. You go back and look at the items you bought again, and truth be told, you're right, some of the items aren't the same. They're completely different color, not what you anticipated at all, and certainly not what you expected to plan coordinate around. You look to yourself, no, what can I do? It's over for me, isn't it? I can't make any use of these. How am I supposed to do anything with them? First of all, they're not Lolita. I can't even wear this to, like, a Lolita meetup or anything. But even if I want to wear them casually, what am I supposed to wear with this? And that's when you happen upon this video. What I just described might be a situation that may be familiar to you. I can imagine a lot of us, when we first joined the Lolita community, we came across a whole bunch of sites that, in hindsight, are definitely super sketchy. One of the ones that is notorious for catching brand new Lolitas off guard is Milanoo. It is a site that has a lot of fashion, and for whatever reason, a lot of pieces that they label as Lolita. I don't know why. It's not a Lolita website particularly. Nowadays they have a whole bunch of stuff on them, so they don't trick Lolitas as much anymore. But back in the day, they were notorious for selling Lolita labeled items that at the end of the day were not Lolita. And I have to admit, it is my deep, dark secret. I too purchased a ton of early items from Milanoo. Not all of them were Lolita, but a lot of them were labeled Lolita, and come to pick them up, I realized that they were in fact not Lolita. I was a super noob at the time, so not only was I just buying pieces at random that I just thought looked good, a lot of the times they didn't even go with anything. I bought like a skirt here, a blouse there, and it's like, okay, now what? I swear, one of the first combinations of things I wore from Milanoo was atrocious. It was definitely not a coordinate by any means, like I didn't have a petticoat or anything, but still, like, the fact that I even tried to come up with a coordinate from these pieces, it was really, really bad. And if you're in a position like that, I wanted to make a video to sort of kind of give a guidance on how to save these old coordinate pieces. Like, some of the pieces on there, while again not Lolita per se, are definitely lollyable, which is a term Lolitas use to refer to something that can be used for Lolita, even if that was not its intended purpose. I was recently looking through my wardrobe, and I just looked in the back of the closet at all of the pieces I bought from Milanoo that I never wear because I never really planned like full-out coordinates with them. They were just pieces that I wanted to buy and have while I was in college, and I really just wanted something in my closet that I could say was Lolita, even though, again, like I said, now I know that these pieces are not really Lolita, but that doesn't mean that my money has to go to waste, nor does yours. So this video is going to be about taking those Milanoo purchases and making them into a full-fledged coordinate. I have several outfits that I originally purchased from Milanoo, and I'm going to be going through each one of them with you all. And then we are going to craft a coordinate with the pieces that I have now to bring some life back into these pieces. So first, I'm going to show you all of the pieces that I initially bought from Milanoo, explaining why I wanted them and what I did with them when I first got them. And then we are going to look at my expanded wardrobe now, where I have a ton of pieces, and see what I can toss together to create an actual coordinate with them. I'm not going to call any of these Lolita inherently, because again, I don't think any of these pieces actually really count as Lolita, but you can let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. The purpose of this video is to sort of show you guys that even if you buy something that initially you found on a sketchy website and you don't really know what to do with it now, like, okay, I've got a real Lolita wardrobe now, I don't need these anymore, I don't think there's a reason that you should ever waste money or anything like that. And we're going to be making them into brand spanking new coordinates that you can use in your daily lives now. Whether or not you actually consider them Lolita can be up to your discretion, but the fact of the matter is, after this video, I want you to be sure that you can actually make use of these purchases and not just have them stuffed away in the back of your closet. So without further ado, let's look at the purchases. Oh my gosh, guys, so here we are on the Milanoo website. Oh wow, just scrolling through this. I was gonna say it has some memories, but at this point, I think it's in the hobbies category. Like, I don't even see Lolita anymore. Okay, yeah, here it is in the hobbies category. So this is probably what you guys were used to seeing a lot when you started your Lolita journey. If you went down the wrong pathway like me, you were seeing a bunch of, again, dresses that, I mean, looking at all of these, I mean, definitely there's some of them you could definitely classify as Lolita. Like, they definitely carried a lot of chi pieces. Actually, looking at this one, I think this was, yeah, I remember this one. This was something that I super wanted. I wanted this cut in this colorway, and in hindsight, I'm kind of glad that I'm certainly glad that I didn't get it from Milanoo. If I was going to get it from anyone, I'd rather get it from the brand itself. But, I mean, I still like this dress. I still think it's really pretty, but it definitely wasn't something I needed at the time. But I think that's what this website, like, kind of banks on. It shows you a bunch of pretty stuff right away, right up front, and you're just kind of deluded into thinking that you want some of them, when the reality is you really are not prepared to come up with a coordinate. If your first plan of action is to buy on Milanoo, you really are probably not thinking too much about deep, in-depth coordinates. And let's not even talk about the prices here. Like, what in the world? This is 115 USD? You're kidding. Like, this has to be a joke. 73 USD for this? Like, this is actually cute, but like 73 USD? I'm certain you can get these on Taobao for like incredibly cheap compared to like all of these prices. Like, this is crazy. But the reason why I came here is for a very particular reason, and that is to go into my order list. So these are the pieces that I purchased from Milanoo back in the day. I'm going to go through each one of them and talk about all of them and sort of explain, first and foremost, why I bought them, what coordinates I use them for, if I use them for any at all, and then we're going to talk about how I plan to make a brand new coordinate with each of them. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start looking. Okay guys, so to my shock and disappointment, some of these items are no longer listed on Milanoo's website, but for the ones that aren't listed, they do have another site that listed, like, it was basically the exact same site. Like I said in another video, Milanoo is a storefront. They have like 50 different stores that all sell the exact same item. So if I can't find this one, I'll try to find it on another site, but for now, we'll look at the ones that are being displayed here. So this is the first item, and when I saw this one, I kind of went crazy. I was like, yo, this looks super gorgeous. And little did I realize, hey, I don't know that I would classify this as Lolita per se. I mean, it looks really pretty. Like, when I saw this purple one, I was like, this is one that I had to get. And I was really hoping that it was going to be this shade of purple, because I had previously purchased something else on Milanoo, which we're going to look at in a bit, and it did not come out the shade of purple that I thought it was going to be. So when I saw this one, I was like, I really hope it's this really nice lavender color. Now, fortunately for me, this did come in the lavender color the way that I was looking for, but unfortunately, I didn't really think ahead when it came to this piece. I genuinely just bought this and had nothing to go with it. Like, this, like, the red one is the only one with black lace. So, you could definitely wear like a black blouse with this one, but every other one of them has white lace, so you should obviously wear it with a white blouse. At the time I didn't have a white blouse, I only had a black blouse, so yeah, I bought this with, like, again, no plan of action, what I was going to wear this with, or anything like that. It was crazy how foolish I was back in the day, but here it is. This was one of the first items that I purchased on Milanoo, and we are going to take a look at how I decided to coordinate this item right now. So before we get into it, as I will start here, I'm going to show you guys the item itself, and then we'll just take a look at some of the details of it. So here is the skirt in question. I have no idea what you would call a skirt like this, but it's really honestly kind of elegant. Like, they have this really nice like floral lace at the bottom. As far as Milanoo purchases go, I definitely got the item that was pictured. It's more or less the same color, it just doesn't quite look as bright in this camera footage. But overall, in general speaking, this item, you know, it wasn't like an item that came and it was completely different. So looking at this bright shade of lavender here, my idea for coordinating this is to go for a dreamy coordinate color palette. So that is generally lavender and yellow, and I really want to apply some pink in there as well. So we're going to be taking a look at the other items right now. So this is the blouse that I've decided to go with. It's my V-Castle blouse, the lavender colorway. I'm not doing the V-Castle cutsos because I think the black at the tip of the purple one would be a little bit jarring compared to everything else, which is going to be very bright pastel and dreaming in this coordinate. Next, we're going to be taking a look at all of the accessories. So I've got a ton of yellow and pink and purple, just combining all of them together so you can see that I really want to bring out the yellow, because the main pieces themselves are primarily just going to be the lavender color. The yellow color is going to have to be held up by the accessories, and every single accessory here, except for I think like a couple of them, have some yellow in them or are completely yellow. So that's going to be gorgeous. I'm really excited for that. So here's a lovely little purse that I'm going to be wearing with the coordinate as well. This was actually a Christmas gift for my sister, but she's allowing me to borrow it just for these purposes. These are going to be the OTKs. They are from Roji Roji from their Macaron series. I love this purple and yellow colorway. It's beautiful, and I'm really excited to wear it with this coordinate. I just hope it shows up nicely on the camera for you guys. But there's so many purple, yellow, and they have some slight pink details in here too, so I think they are perfect for this coordinate. And finally, the shoes are going to be rounding out with the last dash of pink. My Guru Little Bat shoes right here. They are a little bit off in the sense that they're kind of, you know, supposed to be a little spooky themed, but overall, I think they're going to work out nicely as the only pink shoes that I have in my wardrobe right now. These are all the pieces for this coordinate. So the next thing I wanted to purchase on Milanoo was a two-piece, this blouse along with this skirt. So because this skirt shows the blouse and the skirt together, I can basically, even though this order is just for the skirt, because it shows them together, I'll just stay on the screen right here. So here is the purple colorway, here is the black colorway, and here is the red colorway. So I adored this look. Like I said, I don't remotely think this is something that you should classify as Lolita. I'm not sure. I don't know. The way that like it's listed as gothic Lolita, like a high-waisted lavender ruffle skirt, but regardless of whether or not you would call this Lolita or not, this was just a look. Like, I was like, this is going to be the look I go for in university. And, you know, because these two already, like, they don't come together, you have to buy them separately, but because, like, it was an outfit that was already put together. So I was like, okay, I really don't have to think too hard about this one, right? And it was like, yeah, but, like, what am I going to wear with this? Like, what's my headwear going to be? What about my socks, shoes, any accessories? And so when it came to trying to, like, wear this, I could kind of wear it, but not really as a coordinate. Like, it wasn't really giving, like, Lolita for sure. Like, it definitely was not a well thought out coordinate by any stretch of the imagination. And I thought it's kind of a shame. Like, this one, regardless of what kind of fashion you would call this, I definitely think I could put together a nice look for this one. So we're going to take a look at the coordinate that I came up with and my explanation right now. So here is the skirt. Like I said, the skirt was honestly really the main appeal for me. So this is actually the front of the skirt with the corset lacing. I know usually the corset goes in the back, but for this particular skirt, it does go in the front because, as you can see, on the other side, there is really nothing to speak of. So I definitely doubt that you want this part to be in the front of you. But yeah, this is the skirt. It's relatively simple, honestly, outside of, like, the high waist and the ruffles and the corset in the front. There's really not all that much to be said of it. And here, of course, is the blouse. So again, I got the blouse that comes with it. The color isn't exactly the same as photographed, so that's not cool, but it's not too far off. And because the two shades of purple are already different, I decided for this coordinate that what we're going to go for was going to basically be a bunch of different shades of purple combined with black. So the original OTKs that I was planning on using were these from Royal Princess Alice. However, as you can see looking at them, they are jellyfish themed, which is kind of random and doesn't really have to do with the rest of this coordinate, which is relatively simple and not too much imagery is going on. So while these do match the theme of all these different shades of purple put together, which is a sin in Lolita honestly as it is, I decided to go for these socks from Sheep Puff. They are not OTKs, but they are just some short socks and they are purple and black, so I thought they would suit the theme. As far as the headwear goes, I decided to go for a simple black beret. Again, we're not trying to do anything too flashy here, far from the usual over-the-top coordinates I go for. I decided to go for my angelic imprint black heels here. They are very thick and they have some nice flair to them, of course, with the bows on them, but again, otherwise they are relatively simplistic. And once again, we are going to be using that lavender lovely Lolita purse. Like I said before, all of these purples are already clashing with each other, so hey, what's one more off shade of purple to add into the mix? These are all of the pieces for this coordinate. Okay guys, so I was able to find one of the other outfits, but it no longer exists on Milanoo's website anymore because I guess they don't sell anymore, which I actually do remember it going out of stock, but I didn't know that it took the page down entirely, so the only place that I could find a picture of it was on the Milanoo Pinterest page. So yeah, here is this was actually the first outfit that I purchased from them, and you can see right away, like, this was such a preppy look. And again, I don't think you would call this Lolita, but I just loved the preppiness of this look. I don't know what my aesthetic was supposed to be in college, but I was like, whatever this is, that's what I want my aesthetic to be. And this is what I thought Lolita was. So yeah, that's kind of like how this thing rolls into like a huge misunderstanding of what Lolita actually is. But anyway, I love the contrast of the red blouse and the blue skirt. I was like, this is gonna pop off like crazy when I get this. So this was actually the first thing that I purchased from Milanoo, and I'm super happy that I actually was able to get this one. Like, not gonna lie, even though it's not technically Lolita, like, I still like wearing this. There's just one problem with this purchase that I kind of have to talk about, and we're gonna see it when we look at all the footage, but this was one of those things that when I got it, it was not the same as the photograph, and we'll take a look at that right now. So we're going to start right off with the blouse. This blouse was a little bit cheaply made, as it has lost a couple of buttons since purchasing it a couple of years ago, and I have no idea what that anchor is supposed to mean, but otherwise the blouse was not really the issue with the purchase. That honor goes to the skirt. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can see what I was referring to here. This skirt is not blue at all. It's not even navy. In person, this thing is black. And that was completely, like, it just threw a whole wrench into my plans of wearing this back in the day. But now that I have a full wardrobe, we can save this coordinate. So as you can see right off the bat, I have decided to just take both colorways and make this into a black and red coordinate. I'll be using my lovely little purse that has a more gothic flair to it, as well as my lovely little beret. Both of them have some gold accents to them, so that's going to be a nice detail to go with this headbow that is from another Taobao brand that I'll put on the screen because I always forget the name. These two headbows go with one of my chi dresses, the one that I made my first review on this channel about, and I kind of added them to this coordinate at the last minute, so I decided to see how that would look and if it would, you know, create something a little bit more interesting. Here are my tights from Yidra. Again, I tend to wear these with my more gothic looking coordinates. They have the red rose theme on them that matches the purse, and of course the red color is going to match the blouse and the beret, and there's also, again, some more gold accents to match the gold accents in the other part of the pieces. And here are the shoes! You guys are going to be so surprised when you see these. I just got these as a Christmas gift. They are from Antina, and I love the Union Jack on them, even though I am not a Brit myself, but I would love to be an honorary one just for this coordinate. Here are all of the pieces for this coordinate, and I'm not going to lie, this is the one I am most hyped for. Okay guys, unfortunately I could not find the other two items anywhere, even that other Milanoo storefront that I thought was going to have it, because it used to list all of my Milanoo purchases on that website. For whatever reason, it did not list them this time. I guess that site is trying that it did not be Milanoo anymore. I guess it's pretending they're no longer cosplaying. Whatever's the case, here is a picture, the best picture that I could get of the dress. Now, I'm not gonna lie, this one ended up being pretty much a travesty. For whatever reason, I purchased this for like the Halloween costume. Guys, don't make fun of me. I was really just trying to think of any excuse in the book I could think of to purchase more quote-unquote Lolita items. And I saw this dress and I was like, it's plain, it's simple, but like, I mean, look at the lace on this thing. It is really just not as cool as I thought it was going to be. And the worst part about it is, well, actually, it was actually before I was planning on making this video. It was a while ago. I was thinking, maybe I could like try to make these work. Once I got my first petticoat, this thing cannot hold a petticoat. And boy, oh boy, you were going to see that when I try this bad boy on. But yeah, this thing with my biggest petticoat looks absurd. It looks like it's suctioning in at the bottom. So I tried to wear it for the video with my smaller petticoat, and it honestly has the same problem. I did come up with a coordinate for this regardless, and we're going to take a look at that right now, but I do have to say up front, I think this one is a lost cause. And the other piece that I bought that we're going to be taking a look at today is going to be this blue blouse, this electric blue blouse that I have absolutely nothing of the same color. Yeah, that previous dress that you just saw, it is not the same color as this blouse at all. And you know what Lolitas dislike more than anything is mixing and matching colors that do not match. And I definitely understand that. I really don't like wearing them together. Honestly, whenever I wear this blouse, I try to wear it by itself. But nowadays, I can't really do that because this blouse was so super flimsy. There's a hole in it somewhere. I know there was a hole in it. I remember looking at it one day. I've worn it like twice, and somehow it already got a hole in it. I have no idea who the original maker of this was. Like, when I tell you Milanoo was just one of the cheapest stuff, I mean, I'm not even kidding. But yeah, we are going to try to come up with a coordinate today to make this thing work. So without further ado, we're going to take a look at that full coordinate right now. Scrub. Here she is, the biggest regret I honestly have at purchasing. And it's honestly not even because it's that bad of a dress. It's just, first of all, this lace at the top. I mean, this is a joke. Come on now. This does not look very appealing at all. I don't know what it is with these early dress purchases. It's like something all Lolitas do. We always purchase a lace monster as our first dress. But the real reason why I just can't wear this is because it just cannot hold a petticoat properly. I don't know what the one in the picture was made of, but this one is terrible. So let's look at the other pieces of this coordinate. I am honestly just slapping a bunch of navy accessories together and praying that it sticks, because that's basically what this... The only thing that I can do here is work with the color blue, the color navy. So here's that electric blue blouse that we spoke about before that has a hole somewhere, and it is almost impossible to button. This is one of those pieces that I also never wear because I just have nothing that goes with it. Like, it has all these silver accents on it, while the dress has gold accents, so it's already clashing in that regard. So this coordinate is really just a Hail Mary to see what sticks, and it's probably going to be the worst one in the video, not gonna lie. But hey, we all gotta try sometime, don't we? So here are the ties that I'm going with, as keeping up with the crusty theme. I don't know what brand these come from. I bought them off of AliExpress. Not that they're bad, I actually really do like wearing these often, but I don't know what the brand is from. They might just be some indie brand, but they are going to be what we wear as the tights. And to top it all off, I am also wearing some shoes that I also bought from AliExpress. I've seen these on several different sites, but I don't know who the original makers were. I've seen them sell for like $90 on some sites, which if you're going to get them on AliExpress. They were like $20 or something. Next, we're going to be wearing a blue headbow from the same brand as the black headbow from the previous example, as well as a simple blue beret. I think I got this off of, like, I don't know what brand it's from. I got this off of like one of those websites that you just have all these street fashions and Korean fashions. And for the purse, I'm going a little bit rogue here and adding a pop of pink with this bag that I believe is from Hot Topic. I got it off the Lace Market, and I don't have anything blue that can be worn with this, so I was like, why not just go crazy and add a pop of pink and see how that turns out. Here are all of the pieces for this coordinate. And now that we have seen them all, let's take a look at all of these when worn. Starting off with the first coordinate, this is our dreamy lavender, yellow, and pink cord. So as you can see, looking closely, the yellow accessories really do stand out brightly. Also, I decided to wear this pinkish colored wig to sort of tie in everything at the top together. Here is the brooch. It is again so nice and bright on that lavender, and I also added a couple of rings that match the two of the colors that we were using, as well as the pink purse. Here I'd also like to mention that this skirt actually does hold my shortest petticoat really nicely. Here are the OTKs. Again, I'm sorry they didn't come out very nicely on the camera. I really hate that I just can't get a good look at them. And of course, there are the pink shoes. If I'd have to give this coordinate a ranking, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. Really happy with how this one turned out. So here is the planned purple and black coordinate, and I honestly think this one was a little bit better in my head than it was in execution. For one, the wig really stands out. I didn't think the blue would pop out on camera because it usually doesn't. It usually looks very black, but because it looks blue, it just looks very out of place. The outfit itself is fine, but again, I think the black purse probably would have gone better than this purple one, because I feel like if the top, middle, and bottom half of the coordinate would have all had some black in them, it would have meshed together a little bit more nicely. And sorry that you can see my petticoat here. If I had to give this coordinate a ranking, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10. So here is our black and red coordinate, the one I was most excited for, and honestly speaking, ignoring how awkward I look on camera trying to pose, I do think that this is my favorite of the coordinates that I came up with. Adding in the bows on the sides don't really add too much, and the blue doesn't stand out too much here because I think everything else is just so dark. Like the purse matches in perfectly as well, the tights look nice, and I love the shoes with this. I'm definitely going to be making these my go-to pair of shoes whenever I choose to wear this. It just gives it a little bit more of a casual feel rather than a hardcore little coordinate, and overall this is the coordinate I am most pleased with. If anything, I might remove the head bow in the future, but I'd probably otherwise give this one a 9 out of 10. I think I look about as depressed as this coordinate makes me. Guys, oh my gosh, it doesn't even look like I'm wearing a petticoat, even though I am. I'm wearing the same petticoat in every single one of these coordinates, but because the dress is long, it just looks like I'm not, and even though I honestly don't hate like how all the blues came together, it just looks like I'm wearing a saggy old dress because of how bad the petticoat is held. Like, it's suctioning in at the bottom, I know you can see it, but if I were to wear my big petticoat, it does the same thing and looks even worse. Now, I do like how the wig and the purse added in a bright pop of pink like I wanted, but everything else about this coordinate was kind of a dud, which I expected from the beginning, but hey, the point of this is to show that you have to at least try. So I'm definitely going to give this coordinate a 2 out of 10. 2 because the blues look nice together, and I think the pop of pink came out pretty nicely. And that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for spending all this time with me. I know this was quite a long one, but just for a quick recap, I'm pretty satisfied with how most of the coordinates came out. Again, I am referring to them as coordinates, but I'm not saying that any of these are Lolita, because I don't think they would probably constitute as any type of Lolita except maybe casual, but anyway, regardless of what you call it, I am pretty happy with how most of them came out. I would probably say between the 4, 2 of them I really liked. One of them was a little bit better in my head, and I could probably make it better if I were to redo it, and the last one was a lost cause from the beginning, so we really don't have to even talk about that one. But as for my favorite, it was definitely the dreamy lavender coordinate, as well as the black and red coordinates. I think both of those came out so nicely. I think I really was on key with picking the right colors and just making sure that everything meshed together. Again, if anything could be changed, it would probably be the wigs. I didn't show those because originally I hadn't had an idea of which one I wanted to use. I didn't really pick them last minute, but I didn't really try on multiple to see which one I would like more than each other. But regardless, I do think that the dreamy coordinate was the best executed in that regard, and that I felt that the wig also matched well. But I do like the red and black one a little bit more, just because I kind of like that outfit a little bit more. Even though I probably could have changed the wig for that one as well, I really need a more neutral universal wig. As for the purple and black coordinate, I did like that one, but again, I think I probably should have gone for the black purse instead, and probably a different colored wig. It really did not come out as black as I expected it to, and maybe just a lighter tone in general would have been better, or just something else. It just really didn't come out very nicely, and it really stood out, and other than that, I think that it was an okay coordinate. I think that outfit itself really just carries, regardless of what everything else I'm wearing is, but because of the wig, it did kind of look off. And that last coordinate, yeah, she was not great, but hey, she tried. I think it was honestly a sign that when all of this ended and I took that dress off as the last coordinate, the button popped off on one of these straps, and now I don't have a way to really wear it until I get that fixed. So maybe it was a sign that that dress was truly never meant to be. I hope this video was encouraging to you, and just a reminder that even if there are some pieces that you bought back in the day before you really understood Lolita well and you haven't worn them in a while, if you do have a lot more pieces now, there's no reason not to go back and make the most of them. I honestly consider this to be a pretty fun challenge. I thought about doing this a long time ago. I am happy I waited to do it now that I have more pieces. They probably would have looked worse had I tried to do this sooner than now. But I really want you all to like make the most of the things that are in your wardrobe, even if they're old, even if they were quote-unquote not Lolita, or they didn't come out the way you thought they were. Maybe they were a different color, maybe the material wasn't quite so nice. But otherwise, hopefully this was encouraging to you, and I do hope that you enjoyed. Thank you for joining me for this video. I hope you will join me in the next one as well. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye-bye!